The Jacksonville Jaguars take down the Las Vegas Raiders 27-20, shutting the Raiders out in the second half. After the first two quarters, it was like, okay, this might not be a great game. Oh, they didn't shut him out in the second half. I lied. They didn't shut him out. Did they shut him out? I might be completely wrong about certain things.
They shut him out in the second half, yes.
That's what I thought. Sometimes I question myself. If you were to say, I left my apartment at halftime to go to work, and I watched the rest of the game at work, and I was talking to my wife, and I was like, oh, the game's over. I can shut it off. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, I'm going to switch my jersey. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put a different shirt on. I'm a very superstitious person. They go in after halftime. They win the game. And I'm like, don't count the Jaguars out yet. Like, I feel like the Jaguars have something going. And they did. They shut him out in the second half. 27 points from Trevor Lawrence in this offense total. What did you see from the Jaguars that helped them win this game?
Josh McDaniels. You can't blow leads like this in the NFL. And it's not even about blowing the lead. It's the game plan and the scheme when you're in those situations. And I just don't think he's doing a good job as putting his team in the best chance putting his team in good position to win these games. We saw it earlier this year when they did it to Arizona and they allowed Arizona to come back. And now you allow them to come back again. This time it's Jacksonville. And you got to give credit to Jacksonville. They did a good job of staying in the game, and Trevor Lawrence played well, and Travis Etienne and Christian Kirk, and all they played well. But Josh McDaniels, the game plan, I don't know what happened at halftime. You're supposed to be a boy genius or whatever it is you're supposed to be. And everything shifted. Momentum shifted. You have to be able to make adjustments to their adjustments. You can't do the same thing that you think you're going to be able to do in the first half. So Davante Adams goes off in the first half. You can't just think that the Jaguars aren't going to make changes and adjust. And it's the lack of preparation that surprised me the most with Josh McDaniels, because he comes from a place that is so prepared, overly prepared at times. And to me, I get it. Derek Carr, he didn't play bad. Josh Jacobs, I felt like they could have ran him more in the second half, but I just thought the game plan was terrible.
That was the biggest thing. We talked about that. We talk about that all the time with when you're running the ball, you have to, sometimes it's not going to work. Sometimes it's not going to work, but you can't get away from that. And I thought that's what the Las Vegas Raiders did in this game. Early on, it wasn't really working with Josh Jacobs. The Jaguar give credit to the Jaguars run defense for stopping Josh Jacobs and neutralizing him through that first half, which made them in turn focus heavily on Davante Adams, and he torched him in the first half. But it just seemed like they got away from that. Like they said, okay, it's not working. Let's try other things. But you have to stick with what you have with Josh Jacobs. You have to keep feeding him, especially in a game where you're up by so much at halftime. This now is the third game this season where the Raiders have blown a 17-point lead or more. Like, this is not good. Like, that's not a good stat for Josh McDaniels. It's not. Teams don't normally win when they're down by 17 points. The Jaguars have only done it 2 times in their franchise history. 2-1-16. 2-1-16 when trailing by 17 or more points. You don't lose games like that. You just don't. And now the Raiders have done that 3 times this season. And you talk about the coaching of Josh McDaniels, him being a boy genius, like that's huge. Like, you're supposed to be good, but they're just not. And they have blown leads, they've lost games, and now the Las Vegas Raiders fall to 2-6, and those playoff hopes keep slipping. And the Jaguars improve to 3-6 and start looking brighter. Brighter days continue for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they win 27-20. What's up?
There's a direct line I continue to talk about. I don't know if you saw this.
I did, but I will. We're gonna go into break after.
But when Josh Jacobs gets the ball 20 times, they're a much better football team. And I don't like the numbers game of, you got to get to 20 carries. 19 is not enough, but 20 is. But I think there is a direct correlation, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. They're a much better football team when you give him more volume than less volume. And up 20-10 at the half, it's plenty of time to run the football. And if you go 3 and out a few times, like, you're going to do that, you're doing that anyway. So defenses get tired. They get worn out when you run the ball. And that's I just think Josh McDaniels has let this team down significantly early on in this season. And they can get it right and they can fix it going forward. It's only year one of this new regime, but it's unfortunate because I think they had a team that could win now.
Yeah, and it's been tough sledding for the Las Vegas Raiders as they fall to the Jaguars 27-20.